Alright, so we've transferred the individual now to our washing area. Okay? Like I said, as a norm, we need to do what we can to make sure we're using natural materials. And so it says here that the minimum legal Shar'i wash is to ensure water flows over the whole body after removing any impurities, such as blood, waste matter and the like, or any impediments, such as bandages, catheters, nail polish, which is a problem, and the like. Okay, meaning, you, especially Qumran know this, that you know, I can turn up to a mosque and say I get called to a particular mosque to do a ghusl, right? Because I said we want to take about what, 2 to 3 hours to do the whole process. Okay? You get to the masjid and there's 2 other people that are there to be washed. So now the time that you have is drastically limited because people want to do the janazah ordinarily after Dhuhr. Okay? Say, lo faradna, that you are really pushed for time. What's the haqq, what's the right of the individual over you? That you have to ensure water flows over the entirety of the body after the removal of any impurities. Like I said, that's why again the challenge of the invasive post-mortem. That sadly I've seen they're very crude in how they stitch back the chest and the head. Right? It's not done with subtlety. And so what does that bring challenges of what? Blood seeping or the like, right? Or like the tracheotomy left, and you pull that up, there's fluid, there's other things that can be challenging. So as long as you have removed any impurity or impediments, like I said, catheters, plasters, nail polish problem, right? If we remove those impediments or impurities, and if we are to ensure that water flows over the whole body, back and front, top to bottom, you fulfill the bare minimum haqq, the right that this individual has over you. Okay? Obviously, we're going to go through what is an optimal method, what's the better method of washing someone. But if lo faradna, someone is, like I said, they're strapped for time, that's what they would have to do, just to ensure that you fulfill the right over the individual. And so the second point it says here, and this is there's a difference between the school of Abu Hanifa and the school of Imam Shafi'i. It says that what they agree upon is what males should wash, males and females should wash females, right? Gender specific, okay? The exception they give to that is in relation to husbands and wives and infants, okay? In the Hanafi school, it's permissible for a wife to wash a husband, but not for a husband to wash the wife. Okay, based on her being in the iddah, that gives her the right to wash the husband. In the school of Imam Shafi'i, it's permissible for both, the husband to wash the wife and the wife to wash the husband. Based on what? Based on the hadith of Sayyidina Fatima Zahra, that when she came home one day, she was distraught, she was upset. And Asma bint Umays said that, she goes, what causes your upset? And she said that I saw a woman being carried on the nash, on the bi'ah, the thing that you carry the dead body on. And she said that she was draped, but the form of the woman was visible. Not the woman's awrah, her flesh or anything, just the form of her was visible. And that upset Sayyidina Fatima Zahra. And so she said, so Asma bint Umays was from those who migrated to Abyssinia, said what? She goes, I saw a practice in Abyssinia, that when they would carry the women, they would put 4 branches on the ends of the bi'ah, on the nash, so when the woman was on they'd drape over the branches so that the form would not be concealed. Sorry, the form would be concealed, would not be exposed of the woman. And so Sayyidah Fatima said what? She goes, when I pass away, none wash me except for you and Ali, her husband. Right? So there's a premise for the husband to wash the wife. But look at the adab again of Sayyidah Fatima Zahra. Even when she passed away, what did she say? She had a wasiyah, a bequest, that when I pass, bury me qubayl maghrib, just before maghrib. So again, further, the darkness would further conceal any potential of anything being visible from others. Hatta yawm al-qiyamah, on the day of judgment. Imam Suyuti says in al-Musnad, he says what? That on the day of judgment, people on the sirat, the traverse, will be walking. فَيَحْتِفُ حَاتِفٌ مِنَ السَّمَاءِ, and a herald will call, يَا أَيُّهَا السِّرَاطُ نَقِّسُ رُؤُوسَكُمْ. All people on the traverse, lower your heads, for Fatima bint Muhammad is about to traverse. So look at even in the Akhirah, there's a concept of what haya. La ilaha illallah. So here in the book it says that males wash males and females wash females, with the exception of what a husband can wash a wife and a wife can wash a husband. In the Hanafi school, the wife can wash the husband, but the husband cannot wash the wife. And they say that based on the wife being in the period of the iddah, which allows her to. Even with that, what do they say? It's still better for men to wash men and women to wash women. So even with that dispensation, it's still better to keep it gender specific. Okay? Tamam. So the deceased should be carefully placed on the washing surface. A towel or the like should be placed under the head. Again, depending on where you go, some people have like a wooden block to support the neck. Others, it's built into the medical bed. There's like a plastic type of cushion. We prefer to use a towel because it's easily manipulated. With the wooden block, it can cause it's obviously rigid. With the plastic cushion, again, friction in terms of moving is not ideal for the individual. Okay, so we prefer to use the towel because you can fully manipulate the towel throughout the wash. So it says that the towel should be placed, or the light should be focused toward the neck and head, and it should be covered with a light opaque cloth. Okay, so we're going to be using this for demonstration. We wouldn't use this cloth for washing the deceased. Why? Although it's opaque, it's not what? Penetrable. Right? Water won't easily go through because of the thickness of this material. Something like a bed sheet or the like is fine. Right? And again, make sure that it's opaque. Now, for example, we bring our own kits now when we go to do the ghusl. Why? Because I went to a number of them, went to different localities, and you asked them to have these things prepared. When you get there, for example, they had the cloth for the wash, but it was white, which means when it gets wet, what can we now do? It's see-through, right? So we do, or there may be a color which you're not sure of. But is it once it's wet? So you would put your hand underneath, pour water over it to see whether you can see through. Okay, and if it is, then and it's a problem if you go somewhere and you have to wash and now they don't have those materials. How do you proceed? So right now we do our own thing. So a bed sheet like this is fine. Why? Because it's opaque and it's penetrable, meaning water will go through it fairly easily. And when it goes through again, nothing is visible of the individual. We must maintain the dignity of our brother and sister from A to Z. Okay? As I mentioned, there's many ways, there's different ways of doing this. We again prefer, as a practice, is to use buckets, big buckets, with these. Alright? Why? For a number of reasons. One is that when we wash with sidr, which is this mainly soap herbal compound, right? We want to create a soapy solution. As opposed to if we just have the shower head, we can't do that. Okay? The other thing is that when I want to jet water through at certain times, it's a lot easier to use this. So it says here that the washer should first pour water over the whole body, starting at the head and moving towards the feet. A soft cloth glove should be worn on the hand that comes into contact with the body. Okay? In Hadramaut again, they make these beautiful white gloves. Right? We just pragmatically use cotton socks. They work just as well. Again, what's commonly used is what? The latex gloves. Why do I not want to use latex gloves? I'm not saying it's impermissible. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I'm saying it's preferable. Okay? Why is it preferable to use a cotton sock as a glove as opposed to latex gloves? Friction. Friction causes heat. Heat hastens the decomposition of the body. We do not want that. Right? Because then more challenges can happen with the wash. So we want to use something of a natural material. These cotton socks are fine, they're cheap and they're easy to apply. As opposed to using the latex glove which is commonly used. So we're going to pour water all over the body, from the head to the toes. And then, like I said, when we get to the ghusl proper, we'll bring out two people to show how we alternate the body. But we'd alternate the body at this stage to make sure that water is all over the person that you're washing. And again, ordinarily they say that the hand that comes into contact with the body in terms of the wash is the left hand, although it's not, restricted to that. So it's the left hand that would have the sock on. Okay? Once we've poured water all over the body, what we need to be careful, particularly on pouring water on the body, is the face. Okay? That what we tend to do is we would turn the face to the side, so that when we pour the water, it flows over the face and off. We don't want it going into the cavities, we don't want it going to the nose. La qadar Allah, rigor mortis is set in. The mouth is ajar, you can't close the mouth. You don't want to be pouring water into the mouth, particularly with the face looking up. So when it comes to water on the head, you turn the face to your hand onto the face. Right now we're just making sure that water is flowing over the whole individual. We will take this off as well. Okay, so once we've poured water all over the body, we've alternated the body correctly. It says now the whole body, head to wash, is exfoliated, right? In Hadramaut, and we brought the whole lot over, there's a herbal soap called Hutayka. Okay, it's a coarse herbal soap. Right, has a roughness to it. So, again, I have my buckets, water, and I take the hutayka and I make a solution with the hutayka. And with the hutayka now, I wash the individual again from head to toe with this somewhat coarse soap. Why do I do that? Why do they do this? Think about exfoliation. What are you trying to do? Exactly. If there's dried blood, if there's anything that's left over the body, you're going to now wash it, him or her, with this exfoliant. Don't have it, no problem. Just use some type of natural soap or the like. Okay? Or some similar herbal compound to make sure that we're somewhat vigorously just washing. Is this the ghusl for the deceased? No, this is the prep. This is the preparation for the ghusl. Okay? So remember, we've brought him over here. We've covered him with an opaque cloth. We've now watered the whole body from head to toe, side and behind, posterior and anterior side. Okay. Now we've created a solution with this particular herbal coarse soap. Why are we using this again? The glove is applied to the left hand, and we're going to wash now head. The way we do it is that we do the head, front and back, right side. From the fingers to the shoulder first, fingers to the shoulder, front right, fingers to the shoulder left, front left, all the way down, and then we alternate back right, left right. This is at odds with your ghusl, meaning your ghusl, the sunnah of ghusl is what? Front right, back right. Yeah? Front left, back left. Here when it comes to the ghusl of someone who's passed away, front right, front left. Again, why? We don't want to be turning the body too much. Okay, we want to try and minimize that. Okay? So it says here that the body and head should be exfoliated, preferably using organic soap. This is done in order to remove any residual impediments before the obligatory wash. Okay? The washer should then pour water over the entire body to remove the residual soap. Now, brother, can you come here? Now it happens again on the one over here on this side. Okay, that the deceased's upper body should now be lifted to an incline of approximately a 30-degree angle, all the while supporting the head and neck. In this position, using the left hand, apply pressure to the abdomen in a downward motion towards the pelvis to remove any waste matter. Okay, so now we're going to spend time cleaning the private area. Right? What happens is that our brothers are going to incline Qamran to a 30-degree angle. Okay, so two of them make sure that the head, the neck is supported and is inclined to a 30-degree angle. This is the only time that I'm going to be somewhat vigorous with the individual. Okay? Why? Because we want to try and remove any waste matter. So you're going to be pushing down on the stomach fairly vigorously towards the abdomen. Okay? that someone will be doing that. Someone will be, although Bukhur should be burnt throughout the process, they say it's akid, it's emphasized at this juncture for obvious reasons. Okay, we want to make sure that the Bukhur is burning. So someone's going to be burning Bukhur, 2 people are going to be holding the individual up, and this is the only time. Now again, this is another difference between the Hanafi and the Shafi'i school. The Shafi'i say imrar al-baligh, meaning almost go for it, right? That we should be somewhat vigorous because we want to try and remove the waste matter, then cleanse the area because we're not going to go back there again. Okay? Whereas the Hanafi says masn raqiq, like a gentle rub of the stomach. Okay? So our brothers inshallah, so left hand under his neck. No, I want them to actually feel what it's like. Yeah? You're dead. He's mashallah for no
Inshallah, not yet.
Allah give you long life inshallah and health inshallah. But the reason we want to do this, we want people to feel what it's like. I'm trying to make a quote as real as possible. Yeah? I want you to know what it's like to lift up a body. This is tiring, it's overwhelming. So we want to lift him to where? A 30-degree angle, right? Sorry?
Like this.
Oh, work it out, isn't it? That's the thing, isn't it? It's one of those things. Don't help them at all. I want you to just relax. Literally be dead weight.
Then you're going in the crate.
Okay, so whilst they're supporting him here, I go underneath, and I'm going to now, so I'm going to take this so you can see, we wouldn't see this ordinarily. So, when he's at this angle, a bit higher, no, I don't you
don't move me.
You just, if you want to see, that's why people fall asleep, because they're so relaxed, yeah? Look, mashallah, biceps and everything, yeah? So we want to push down on the stomach, lift him higher, that's it, yeah? And I want you to feel it as well, yeah? We're going to be pushing down, glove on my hand, and ordinarily I'm going to go underneath, right? And push down from the left towards the right on the abdomen fairly vigorously to try and help the waste matter be expelled, okay? Again, this all happens underneath. Then they're going to put him down gently. Make sure it's good on the neck. Just follow the neck down. That's it, yeah? Very good. Okay? So another person is doing what? Clean water and he's just jetting it down the sides. Here you can use this hose. That can help as well, but this allows you to have a lot more control again over the water that you're using. Okay. Once they've placed him down, once the body is laid back, thoroughly cleanse the private area, applying a new cloth glove to the hand. Okay. So what's happening at this stage is that, say, if I was doing this, so again, our brother here is making sure that a lot of bukhur is burning. Okay. This brother is here, he's next to me. On this side, and he's holding a bin bag. Okay, there's another brother here who's going to be helping passing me water. Okay, I apply the glove, private areas thoroughly. Right, as soon as I've done one, he's got the bin bag here. I come out, remove this, place it in there, and then apply another one. So one wash, one glove. All right. So I cleansed the front passage. He's there. He's burning the bukhur. Someone is helping me with the solutions of soapy water whilst I'm cleaning it. Again, they can pour over because the cloth is penetrable. Yeah. Right. So they're pouring water over, or they can be pouring it like this. I'm washing the front area. Once I've washed it, again, immediately it goes into the bin, and then I take on the next one and apply it to get access to the rear. You just would have to maybe lift the knee and again go underneath. How many times do I clean the private area?
As many as you think necessary.
Exactly, right? As many as I feel are necessary. An indication of this is what? That our brother here who is jetting the water, ordinarily we have a sinkhole in in the bed, right? So the coloration of the water is an indication, right? That when he keeps throwing water down the sides in this direction towards the sinkhole, the coloration or the discoloration of the water is an indication. But you clean it to the extent of the times that you feel that area is fully cleansed, because you are not going to go back there again. Alright, once that area is cleansed, you will not return back there. So you cleanse it 5, 7, 9 times, whatever you feel is required for that area to be fully cleansed. Okay, everyone with me up until now?
Yeah.
Then what happens is, there's 3 people now. And again, all this is, we haven't even got to the wash, we haven't even started the ghusl shari, the ghusl that's required of us. Alright? So, there's one person here, one person at the feet, one person at the hands. The person at the hand starts with the right, likewise the right foot, starting with the right hand. Yeah, so pull his arm out from underneath. You're at the feet. Yeah? So the brother at the hands, he's got his cotton bud, dips it in water and starts to cleanse under the nails, starting with the right moving outward, and he comes to the left, right? So how many of these does he use? Whatever he needs. So he's cleansed one, cleanse it, turns it over, dips it in water, cleanses it, throws it away, takes another one. Likewise, our brother here starts with the right foot, dips this in water, cleanses the toenails, throws it away, takes another one, and cleanses the toenails. Whilst they're doing that, someone is here. Eyes, ears, and nose. Okay, same thing. Take a swab like this, dip it in water, clean the eye out. Okay, if I can use it again, I will. Or have a half, or throw it away, take another one, dip it in water, clean the other eye out. Clean one, take it right ear, left ear, and then take it again. Here again, with the nose, you use the, what do we call this? Whoever's pinky can get out. We live in England, it's little finger. We're not in America. The pinky leave, that's an effeminate way of saying it. Also, brothers, if you said it, I'll stuff it over. Right? We take the little finger, dip it in water again, and how you clean your nose, again, right nostril, left nostril. You with me? Okay? You can see this what? It's a lot to remember and it takes time. Okay, we haven't started the ghusl yet. In fact, by the time we get to the ghusl, the hard work is done. Alright? Okay. Do we comb the hair or do we cut the nails? No. Right? You do not, if, they say that if something, for example, like if a nail was like broken or something, it's permissible to remove it, but anything that we actively remove should be buried alongside the individual. Okay? Now we make wudu on the individual. Again, take your time, you want all of the sunnah. Yeah? So again, start with what? We start with washing the hands. Make sure you do takhleel. It's pouring for me, and we're washing the hands. So he's going to be pouring, I'm doing takhleel, all of the sunan that you do for yourself. Okay, wash the hands, the left hand, alright? No, it's not I love this. With the muscles for it, so that is again, a subtle point of difference with the Hanafi school and the Shafi'i school. For the Hanafis, there's no madmada or istinshaq. There's no rinsing out the mouth, nor is there rinsing out the nose. Okay? For the Shafis, there is, but it's done in a very particular way. I.e., we want to do the best that we can by this individual, give him every single sunnah that's known to man. Right? So how do we do the madmada, the rinsing of the mouth, and the istinshaq? Remember, whenever it comes to the face, do we have the face looking upwards? No. Right? What is the sunnah, i.e. what is the definition of doing madmada, what rinsing the mouth, and istinshaq? They say, idkhal al-ma fil fam. If I just make sure that water enters in there, you get the asl of the sunnah. Okay? The nose is easy, the mouth, only those who are trained should do it. Okay? How should they do it? Come on, brother. Yes, just hold it. So when we've turned the face, okay, you the mouth is ajar slightly, right? A trickle of water just to enter into the mouth. And when you see his cheek, when you do this, it just trickles out. Okay? So you're supporting it from here, right? Make it ajar slightly. Should you be doing this on your first also? No. I'm showing you how it's done. Let people who are trained in doing it do it. Right, so intention should be to wash the face, carry this out as if he or she were alive, and supplication. So again, you just do the full what? The full wudu. Okay? But so what we tend to do as a practice, again, those 5 or however, again, it depends on the time that you have available to you when you're doing a wash, is we do 5 washes, we do 2 with sidr, 2 with this powdered Yemeni herbal soap. And again, that's anchored in the hadith of the Prophet to use this particular substance, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Then we do 2 clean washes with clean water, and then we do the final one with kafur, whether using liquid or solid kafur. Okay? They say that there's 3 benefits to kafur. One is, Allah bless our brothers, that the fragrance that it emits. Second, it helps, again, the external body not decay. And the third thing is that it repels, when the person is placed, interred into their grave, it repels insects and the like. Okay, so there's 3 particular benefits that they mention in relation to kafur. Again, now how do we do this? Our brother is in charge of making the soapy solutions, so he's filling up the buckets. We use fairly large buckets and making the sidr in them so that they're ready. Another brother may be helping with pouring, so we're going to tilt Imran's head to the side, pour, and now wash, making sure we get all of the ears behind the ears into the beard and the like, lifting the head up to make sure we get behind the head and washing the head. Then we move to where? So I would come around this side. I'm going to just so people can see that we start with the right. We're going to now wash again thoroughly under the arms, the right hand side, and again I'm on this side of the table, going underneath here and washing the right side. Okay, all the way down. Do I go to the sensitive area?
No.
No, we've dealt with that thoroughly. Okay, so I'm going to go over the hip, over the thigh on the right side, all the way down, washing his feet again. Our brother here might be helping me with this, right? He's just going to follow my hand. Okay, so wherever my hand goes, sorry. Wherever my hand goes, our brother is just following. Alright, so if I'm washing under here, okay, this is the soapy solution which he's taking from the bucket and pouring, following wherever my hand goes. So if I was here, he's just going to follow my hand, and we do right all the way down across, and then we come on this side. Yep, all the way down here. We can lift up again to go underneath, up until the posterior here. We do not need to go anywhere near the private area. And then again, the left side, again, we start with fingers. Again, he's going to pour, following my hand. Again, this side, all the way down. And again, it's important that this draping cloth is wide enough, particularly when we alternate the body. Okay? Now I'm going to be going like underneath again. He's following my hand. Yeah? Yeah, from the top down. Again, he's following my hand whilst I'm washing. Raise the leg up. And again, following, putting the water in as much as I need, all the way back, and then putting it down again. Okay, then we're going to do the right back and then the left back. Okay, so we want access to here, right? So these two, one hand goes underneath the neck. both of you. One hand on the left hand on his shoulder. Exactly, yeah. You ran this way. So his hand, again, don't help them at all. Okay? His hand underneath the neck, his hand on the shoulder. You're going to secure the arm as well, so maybe bring it around here. Your one, you're going to put the right foot over, the right ankle over the left ankle. So bring this over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Left hand on the ankle, right hand on the hip. Okay? You got that. So, right hand under the neck, left hand on the shoulder, securing the arm. He has put the right ankle over the left ankle. His right hand is on the hip, and his left hand is on the ankle. Okay? Now when I'm ready, I would say, again, before you do this, make sure that what? That's draped over, right? So when I'm ready, Bismillah, pull towards you at the same time. Again, common error when people are not used to doing this, one's already done, he started to pull, while the other one's even got the ankles ready. So now the body's half over there, the legs are over there, right? Make sure that there's one person, quote unquote, managing the process. So when they're ready, only when I say Bismillah, then they incline towards him, towards themselves. Either someone's helping me, or I'm doing it now, with the water. Again, soapy solution here. Right, once I pass the posterior, then again, they just put him down gently. Okay? And I've already done the back of this when I was doing the right hand side. Okay? Then we change sides. Okay, so we've done the right back, now we have access to the left back, so same thing again. Left hand under his neck, right hand on the shoulder, securing the arm, left ankle over the right ankle, left hand on the hip, exactly, yeah? So now that they're in this position, okay, when I'm ready, Bismillah, pull towards you, exactly. Good. And then again, look, the cloth, remember, it's wide enough to make sure his aura is covered throughout the whole process, okay? I have my soapy solution, and again, I'm now going to clean, right? The upper back, there's no issue because there's nothing wrong with the aura, I can use it directly above. When I get to the posterior, I can pull over, or I can hold under, as long as the cloth is wide enough to make sure that nothing is being exposed of his dignity. Okay? So then you're going to go again, wash till when I pass the posterior, I don't, because I've washed the back leg when we did the left side, you can gently put him down. Here, okay? And that's one wash, okay? We repeat the process again, depending on how you want to repeat it. You can now do what's called a muzila, you can use clean water, and do the same process, exactly the same, again, for the second wash. Like I said, we tend to do 2 soap washes, and then do 2 clean washes, clean water washes. So you do the same process over again, and then the final wash, it's clean water mixed with either liquid camphor or the solid camphor someone's smashed up into a powder, and then again they add mixture of clean water and camphor. Okay, so the number of washes that you're going to do this individual is going to be determined by the time that you have. All right. Once you've done now 5 or 7 washes, whatever is preferable to you. They say that the supplication said at the end of ablution likewise can be said at this stage. Okay, what do we do now? Now that we've washed the individual thoroughly, right? We want to. It's common that, for example, pockets of water collate in where the eyes are, going around the ears. You have your swabs. Just dab those to dry out those. This is obviously drenched, isn't it? Yeah. So what you do is. One, this and one here.
hold it, that's right over the body. You come this way. Yeah, do actually. You stay back. You stay here, buddy. So hold this there. Hold over the individual. Right? We don't want it to touch it because this is dry. Okay. As we remove this, they drop it. Okay. So as I pull this towards you, you're going to drop it there. Yeah. Okay. Totally drenched. Put this guy back to the side. Then you get your, obviously, your towels, and you now pat dry the individual. Access again to the back is done in the same manner in relation to how you cross the ankles, where you place to make sure you have access to your side. Again, this is another time where it's akid, it's emphasized to burn bukhur. Okay? Like I said, in Hadramaut, because they have like slats as well, they place the bukhur underneath the body to allow the bukhur to come through and fumigate the whole individual. Okay. What again we've noticed, just to make that point again, that we had Allah has been demonstrating for us from the moment he hypothetically passed away, up until us doing all of the things that we've done, including all of the washes. At any moment, even though we thoroughly washed him, did we see any part of his nudity?
No.
Right? That's a really important point. In fact, it's one of the most important points to note here. That we have washed him 5, maybe 7 times, pre-wash, private areas, everything. Thoroughly washed him, but at no point did we have visible access to his private area or anything from the aura. All right. So once we patted dry the individual and we burned the bukhur, he's covered in a dry cloth, again an opaque cloth. Okay. Whilst that's happening, or like I said, if you have people who are versed in this, they would be preparing the shroudal area. So, Allah bless you. So, again, this mashallah, I haven't seen the facilities you have, but it looks like a mashallah wonderful masjid, and the facilities mashallah look really, really good. So whilst, for example, us 3 or 4 or 5 are washing, there may be 2 brothers who are preparing the shrouds. Okay? Up until here, is any questions?
Yes, if any areas is a damage nearby private areas or infection, yeah? So we're not looking at right. So how do you deal with these areas where is a damage or infection near the private area?
So if there's any infection, or if there's any type of damage or wounds or the like, so I got this one. If there's any wounds or the like, we said in the beginning, as long as the water has flowed over that area, it's fine. Okay? We tend to bring a lot of dressing. Okay? Wounds to be addressed thereafter. Again, because seeping can occur. If seeping occurs, it's a challenge, particularly when it comes to the shrouding. Now, in relation to looking, obviously, as in an undetailed sense, we're not allowed to look at any particular area. Okay, you're permitted to look at an area if there's a need for it, to the extent that need requires. Like, for example, going to the doctor. Right? Ordinarily, we can't have access to each other's dignity or private areas, but there's instances where we need to have access to those to deal with a particular situation that may arise. So here again, it's a very good question, because like I said in the beginning, there's obviously no challenges we're experiencing here in this situation. Right? When you do it in real terms, Quran can tell you better than I can, and likewise the Imam than like, pulling out a tracheotomy pipe is not, we never learned in the fit books. Right? Therefore, when you put out the fluid, whatever comes out. So we have like bandages or the like to make sure we can deal with these particular things, catheters, incontinence pads and everything. Okay? So if there's a challenge that occurs in a particular part of the anatomy, I'm permitted to look to the extent to deal with that issue and then stop. Right? Also a question is, okay, say for example we've washed, now we've patted our brother dry, and now something comes out of the private regions.
Yeah.
What do we do? Cry?
No.
Say La ilaha illallah. Good luck. What do you do? They say in the Fiqh that you have to cleanse the affected area. You don't have to redo the whole. You have to redo the whole. Okay, you just have to cleanse the affected area. All right, and again, like I said, the invasive post-mortem. So years ago, I'm talking about, I first came back from Hadramaut. I was at a wedding with a number of doctors, and they're saying, like in North London, the Jewish community purchased a scanner which determines causes of death, so it prevents them from having to do the invasive post-mortem. Right? I don't know what the setup is here. I'm talking about in Manchester, but again, with the work that we've done down south, we've got a relationship with particular hospitals that have this now, that it actually ascertains 90% of the causes of death, the body scan. 90%, right? But why mention that? Because, okay, now I'm washing now, again, things start, if that's happening, seeping, that could happen. So again, we have like a number of bandages, that once we've done the ghusl, to apply the bandages, so that when we do the kafan, again, there's no seeping that seeps out onto the shrouds.
The water that's being used, does it need to be certain temperature, like warm water or cold water?
That's a good question. So, what is the temperature of the water that should be used? As a norm, coldness is good for the body. Right? Here, because we live in cold climates, I say lukewarm. Hot water is not recommended to wash unless there's a need. When is there a need to use hot water? So, for example, if rigor mortis is set in, stiffened, if I use hot water now, and I apply it, it helps me with the joints, right? What I don't want to do is what? Don't force it. Okay, so I've used hot water. When I say hot, not like hot, but just fairly, fairly warm water. I apply it to the joint, and after a while it helps. But I don't want to force it, specifically if someone is elderly, because you can potentially harm them. Yeah? But as a norm, coldness is good. Why again? Because it defers the onset of decomposition of the body. So in cold weather, we tend to use like lukewarm at best. We never use hot water. Like I said, if there's a need to use it, as I gave the example, to make the joints bend, or for example, there's some type of like dried blood where I need to use a bit of more warmer water to help remove that, then you would use that. But as a norm, it should be cold. Cold water should be used to lukewarm.